We live.
The Swifties gonna kill us.
Oh man, we live.
The Swifties are gonna get us up out the paint. I can. Wow. 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 Wow.
Oh man.
We're gonna do things a little different today because Josh is struggling to get himself together. So we're going to do the intro and then we'll ask the would you rather because Chris just said something that has made all of our hearts sink a little, and so we're gonna get right into it because we got a great show for y'all today. Of course, the NFL playoffs underway. The city is up. We are so back. The Detroit Lions headed to the NFC Championship. Haha, we've made more NFC Championships than the Cowboys since the turn of the century. What a great time to be alive. On top of that, are y'all tired of seeing Taylor Swift yet? Well, boy, do we not have the show for you, because we're going to talk about her. We're going to talk about Jason Kelce. We're going to talk about the Kelce family on this show. And beyond that, Adrian Griffin, brother, update your LinkedIn. He's out of there. The Bucs now have 3 coaches on payroll. Bud, Griffin, Doc Rivers. What a time it is to be had on this show. Fellas, y'all ready to get into it?
I'm ready for it.
Yes, sir.
Alrighty, well, what's up, y'all? Have a seat. It's your favorite hour of the week with the Facts Over Axe crew. We got the master of the mix master, Josh Guyton, in the building.
That is I.
We got the money man, the man of the plan, Chris Allen, in the building.
Right here, right here.
And then you got the little old MC, that's me, Kenton Gibbs. Now, fellas, because we're about to get into the Taylor Swift part of this. But before we do that, I have a question for you, fellas. Okay? Because last week I forgot. And this week we got to bring something back. On Twitter, it has been trending lately with almost every blue check asking this question. So I'm going to ask it to you two. Pick one that you can accept in a partner. There are 7 different things here. Number 1, snoring. Number 2, body odor. Number 3, bad cook. Number 4, laziness. Number 5 is illiteracy. Number 6 is very aggressive, and number 7 is sex addiction.
Okay. I think it's only like 1.5 viable answers there. I'm gonna go with snoring, just because one, I'm used to noise. Like even where I am now, I stay in like a pretty like quiet cul-de-sac, so I have a hard time sleeping through the night right now, just because my entire life I've been used to sleeping with noise.
Right.
I grew up on the east side of Detroit. I've lived there for 90% of my life, so like going to sleep with noise is just something that I'm used to. Whenever I go to sleep and it's quiet, I feel like something wrong. So
Yeah,
snoring,
You different, bro.
I can deal with snoring. I can get used to snoring. I would be fine.
No. I get that. That's probably my answer, but I'm just saying you can't go to sleep. You think it's weird going to sleep in peace and quiet. That's you different, bro. You different.
No, he not wrong. That was definitely a thing. When I first got down to Raleigh and it was like dead quiet, I couldn't sleep. I'm like, yo, what?
See, people that grew up in good neighborhoods like you, Chris, you don't understand.
I grew up on 6 Mile out of drive. 6 Mile out of drive. Right off 6 Mile, 4 houses down from the street.
You
it was
understand
loud.
the psychological warfare that is in my mind, man.
It was loud, but y'all gotta fight them demons. Y'all gotta fight them demons.
It took years to adjust. For real.
I only been down here 3 months.
Yeah.
You still gotta give me some time to adjust. I only been down here 3 months.
Like now, I could sleep through sirens or I could sleep through like quiet. But like when I first got down to Raleigh, I was always like, yo, like.
Yeah, I'm waking up at least once throughout the night. It's usually like 3, 4 o'clock, but I'm waking up at least once throughout the night just because it's too quiet. But I can do that. But body odor, that might be number 1 on the no list. Like that's wild. I don't even know if I can even be in the vicinity of somebody with body odor, especially if it's y'all ever had somebody that's stinking like the bridge of your nose start stinging. Mm-hmm. Yeah, like
wait. You ever had somebody around you that stank and like it get in your mouth? Like you could like taste it. Like it's like a palpable. Like you like.
No, you ever somebody walk past you with like the walk past air stink?
Like, listen. Another thing about your shorty stanking, bro, or your partner stanking, however way you go up the tree. But if your partner stank, bro, just think about it. Everybody in the group chat texting without you about your partner. They is talking about your partner funky self. They like, bro, his girl was stinking, dog. Like, I can't believe he brought her to the club like that. Like, why he bring her outside? He need to take her to take a bath. Like,
that is not what they meant.
Not
They
took
said
her to
make
the
it
bathhouse.
That is not what they meant, brother.
What was the other ones? What was the third one? Cook?
Yeah, so you got snoring, body odor, bad cook, laziness, illiteracy, aggression, or sex addiction.
So not being able to cook is not like a deal breaker, because I'm not a person that'd be like, y'all, I'm gonna require my woman to be able to cook, but I don't have to cook. Like, I know how to cook myself, so sometimes I might not feel like cooking, she might not feel like cooking. I just want to be in a relationship where we got the ability to make nice meals for each other. But it's not a deal breaker.
Right.
The illiteracy is crazy. Like, be with somebody that can't, like, I need to be with somebody that can stimulate me, like, intellectually, for me to even.
depending on who you ask. That's all I'm gonna say. Depending on who you ask.
In order for me to be attracted to you, you got to be able to stimulate me intellectually, like, in some kind of way. So that's not gonna do it. What was the other two?
You got a very aggressive or a sex addiction.
Very aggressive. I'm kind of a chill, laid back dude. I got my moments where, like, if I'm being aggressive, I'm generally being goofy. Like, I'm never seriously aggressive or like angry or anything like that. So that wouldn't work. Like, that dynamic wouldn't work. I know people say like opposites attract, but if I'm chill, I'm gonna need you to be chill. And then sex addiction, that's not like a super deal breaker. We just gonna have to like that don't necessarily mean that person is promiscuous if they got a sex addiction.
Yeah.
That could be only with you. You know what I'm saying? You would just have to have a open communication as far as like how much is too much. Cause we wildin', but it's a certain thing is too much, yo.
I ain't gonna lie, bro. After that movie I watched where that lady was addicted to sex, bro, that like I couldn't deal with it, bro. Like literally every 2 minutes she want to do something. If you got to go to work or something, she like, okay, somebody got to do it to me. Like I just no, bro. That's in the back of my mind when it comes with sex addiction, bro.
Yeah, but at the same time, if you trust that person, y'all got communication. The sex addiction don't necessarily mean that person is promiscuous, though.
Listen, guys. It's a lot of people that do particular Franklin Saint product that tell you they going to buy a cheeseburger with the money you give them, and then they go buy more Franklin Saint product. So you telling me an addiction is you trust somebody? You go ahead, buddy.
I do think I'm underestimating the word addiction. You did say addiction.
Come on, man.
All I'm gonna say is this: Luther Vandross was definitely on to something when he was singing to his man, and he said, "1,000 kisses from you is never enough." I felt where he was coming from. I'm with you, brother. I'm with you. Somebody said, I need a woman who gonna make me feel like Luther felt, and they said, "Brother, we've got news for you." And I'm like, "Yeah, sorry to tell ya, you know." But anyway, Chris, which one you going with?
Well, I'm not gonna do my pre-show answer, but because it might be a little crazy.
Okay.
We got some numbers to run up.
I was just about to say that's so interesting because when I tell you, I'm not gonna snitch. I'm not gonna sell this young man out. But what I will say is his answer. Y'all have to understand the level at which we know and receive and understand one Christopher Geronimo Allen. Okay, y'all gotta understand. And Chris literally had both Josh and I dumbfounded with this answer because it was so
like my brain couldn't even like populate that answer. Not once did that thought cross my mind.
No, not at all. But go ahead, Chris. Talk to me.
Hey, man, sometimes I'm a sicko, but I'm not going to be a sicko for the show, okay? So my answer would be, bad cook, right? I would say I would be okay with a bad cook, right? Because to be honest with you, I don't mind cooking. And to be honest with you, it's a lot of meals that you don't really have to know how to cook to make, right? Like to put some spaghetti together, you don't have to know how to cook to do that, right? You just, so.
Nah, you can mess up some spaghetti, bro.
You can mess it up. Don't get me wrong. I know some folk out there that mess up some spaghetti. But what I'm saying is, it's a lot of things you can do. That might have been a bad example, but it's a lot of things. They got the air fryer for goodness gracious now.
If you mess up spaghetti, like you really, really can't cook. Like,
Yeah, you exactly.
Cook.
I'm sorry, I thought this question was sort of the guys of like a bottom tier. Like, if you had to deal with this, it was the worst.
That's the thing. We taking it there. Because honestly, never mind. We're not gonna go there. But all of these answers, if it's like a tinge or something, none of them are really that bad.
We talking mac then cheese level cook.
Yeah. We talking. Like
okay, but I'm pretty sure it's like, I mean, like I said, it's alternatives for cooking, right? If we talking worst of the worst, right? I ain't sleeping next to nobody with a CPAP machine. I'm sorry. Oh yeah,
you right. I ain't even. Yeah,
I ain't doing that. I wake up and it sound like it's a doctor's office next door to me. I'm going to the couch and I'm closing the door, and it ain't even no door on the couch. So I'm sorry. Sex addiction. You ain't about to go sleep with the neighbor because I got a job. So I'm sorry. I'm gonna bring that toxic out a little bit because you ain't going to sleep with the neighbor. You ain't going to sleep with the bus driver, the mailman.
Not want to be cheated on. I think that's.
That's very normal.
I'm just saying you not going next door because I got a job and I provide for the family, right? Okay. Right. The next thing, keep me going on track on the list. I did. All right,
so you got snoring, and you talked about bad cook, but you didn't talk about odor, illiteracy, laziness, or aggressive.
Okay, odor, please. That's self-explanatory, right? If you funky, how are you even gonna go on a date with me because you funky? Like I'm gonna be like, bro, get me up. I can't. I'm one of the people though. I like to take a long bathroom break when I'm not having a good time, and people kind of get the message, and then they kind of be like, I think you ready to go, aren't you? I'll be like, yeah, I'm ready to go. Like I kind of do one of those. I mean, I ain't been on a date like that in a minute, but like,
bro, hiding out on the toilet, phone in hand, not coming out, boys. Matter of fact, one of y'all called me, fake like you got an emergency.
No, my favorite one is I just start watching the game on my phone, be like, I probably should go home and finish watching this. I got a podcast to run, and all
Chris, that is insane. That is insane.
Yeah, but anyway, okay. Then you got we said older. I did older. Yeah. Which one I'm missing?
You did snoring, odor. You said you'd accept bad cook, laziness, illiteracy, aggressive.
I didn't even touch laziness.
Yeah, laziness. You just don't have no will to do nothing different. You just really won't. To me, I'm a go-getter. I'm a driven person. I'm a goal-driven person, right? Like, I execute on things. You don't fit into my blueprint if you don't execute in things. Now, I love an intelligent woman. I really do. I love very smart women. I love women that challenge me. I love women that do everything. So, honestly, I could deal with a very aggressive woman because I'm a very aggressive guy, and I'm also a very hard-to-deal-with guy. I know I bring a lot of complexity to a relationship, right? Right. But one thing I ain't gonna deal with is trying to dumb down how I talk to your dumb self. I'm not gonna do that. I'm sorry. Right. I'm sorry. Now it might be some upside to that, but I'm not gonna digress into that. But yeah, I'm not dealing with somebody that can't compute. I took the trash out so the trash wouldn't stink in the kitchen. Huh? What does that mean? I'm not dealing with that.
That's not what illiterate means.
I know, but if you can't read in 2024 after Hooked on Phonics times 50 is out, I'm sorry, Gibbs. That's how I think of you. That's how I think of you.
I will have to say, I didn't cover lazy. The lazy surpass stank for me. Stank, we could try to figure out a solution.
Oh no.
Y'all don't understand what I've been through. Y'all don't understand what I've been through.
Hey.
Things that I've been through. Y'all don't know what I've been through. Ain't nothing worse than, bro, you done bust a 12, 13, 14-hour shift and you come home and you got to make food. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nothing worse than coming home and somebody in the bed watching Netflix. Ain't no food ready. Ain't no clothes clean, bro.
Bro was in the tub crying, singing I Wish I Never Met Her. He was singing that Carl Thomas. And I wish I never met her.
He said, I'm in the tub with G's on.
Even though I love her so. And she got love for me.
And that reminds me of that video on Twitter we had sent in the chat a long time ago. Remember, bro was trying to drown himself by running the shower water in his face.
I'm gonna tell you, man. This one is fairly easy for me because, like, honestly, when you take all of these to their worst extreme, like, all right, all of them are pretty bad. Cause like aggressive, I'm cool with a shorty that's aggressive in certain ways.
That's kind of attractive sometimes.
I'm not about to be out here fighting and shooting every other day behind you, because every time somebody look at you, the slightest bit of wrong, it's a big problem. I'm not about to do that. The other
Is that aggression? That's anger more than aggression to me, though, Gibbs.
That's fair. That's fair. I might be able to do aggression. I'm gonna tell you my answer. My mother always joked about this. My mom can't cook, and so she always used to say, "Ken, whoever you marry is lucky, because whatever they cook, you just gonna eat it and act like it's the best thing ever." And I said, "Yeah, that's just what it is. Like you know what I mean? Like
Not everything.
let me
Because
tell
if
you,
a shorty make you some meatloaf, you finna be moving some furniture.
Hey, Gibbs, your discussion with meatloaf, it blows my mind. Because meatloaf ain't nothing but a burger
get that outta here,
with a
bro.
different little
Get
feel
that outta
to
here.
it, bro.
But you know what? You know what though? I'm gonna tell you. I've been in love enough to eat meatloaf before and pretend like it was straight. I've been that in love before. You know what I mean? So like, now granted, it's a very sick time. Like somebody be like, "Oh, this shorty that you just posted on your story on the date now." But with that being said, I could deal with a bad cook. All the rest, because laziness, the one thing that I don't think that either one of y'all mentioned, bro, I can't deal with no pillow princess. I can't do it. I can't
Bro,
do it.
oh
I
my,
can't.
bro. My
Wrap
man's
this up
got one.
now.
Bro, let me tell y'all a story real quick before we get into the show for the sports. My man's got one, right? Mm-hmm. She went outside and saw that it was snowing, right? He worked midnights, right? She went outside, saw that it was snowing, right?
Right.
She works a morning shift, right? She worked 9 to 5, right?
Mm-hmm.
His car is parked directly next to her car in their driveway, right?
Mm-hmm.
He just gets home from work, drove through the blizzard on the way home. His car's cleaned off, right?
Right.
She knows that he needs his car to take it to work because he has a pickup truck, and that's what he has to drive at work because he works in construction a little bit. Right?
No.
She goes in the house, wakes him up, and say, "I'm taking your car because I don't want to brush off my car." He looked at her and was like, "I can't go to work without my car." She said, "Well, you better get up and brush my car off because I'm not doing it." When I
Chris,
said,
that's not a pillow princess.
No. I'm getting to it. It gets worse.
This story.
All right,
is
let's
scary.
just keep
So
going.
I was about to say, this is some scary hours right here.
Listen. He gets up out the bed, say, "All right, I'm gonna be a gentleman," because that's what you're thinking. Like that's just being a gentleman. Go clean your lady car. He gets up out the bed, do that. He brush her car off, do all that. He come back in the house. She in her pajamas. She got back in the bed. Said, "I done called off work today."
Now she hit bro with the orange peel challenge. Now she hit bro, and Chris, I still don't think you know what a pillow princess is, but
On the outside in, that's crazy.
yeah, that's insane.
But
That's
Listen.
insane.
the but is not me justifying it. I just been in situations that might be even more insane. So I
Oh
get it.
yeah, you have.
We know guys still fighting them demons. Guys still fighting them demons. Man.
I'm fighting demons.
My real daddy loved my stepdaddy. He slapped my fight. Brother.
You know how mad you gotta be though to call your mans after you work a midnight shift and your girl came back in the house and decided to stay home with you for the day. You know how mad you gotta. He called me at 7 in the morning. I'm on my way to work. He like, "Bro, I gotta tell you what she done did. I'm sitting outside in the snow, bro. I'm mad." You know how mad you gotta be
To sit in the snow is crazy.
See, sit in the snow. You gotta be furious,
mad
bro.
Bro was mad,
But
bro.
you know what? The NFL and all of its fans seem to be furious with the Kansas City Chiefs. Everybody. It was rooting against them. They were rooting for the Bills because they were hoping to see Josh Allen finally get it done. And on top of that, Patrick Mahomes comes along with Travis Kelce. And Travis Kelce comes with Taylor Swift and Jason Kelce. And Travis Kelce comes with Patrick Mahomes. And Patrick Mahomes comes with Jackson Mahomes. And yet, they still got it done on the road this time. In Buffalo. Had them boys in Buffalo in tears. And it's cold in Buffalo. You can't just cry willy-nilly. They get icicles, salty little icicles on your face. Because Pat Mahomes and the boys took care of business. Fellas, let me ask you this. Let me first start it off here. Are y'all tired of seeing Taylor Swift?
Yes.
Are y'all have you had enough?
We ain't even gotta keep going. So look, let me say it to y'all this way. One, I get it. The NFL was a business, and out of all of the sports, the NFL was probably the most business that we have seen, right?
Yeah.
So the perspective of having Taylor Swift, who, in my opinion, you can make the argument that she's top 3 like most popular or most influential artist like since we've been alive. I say probably Mike 1, Beyonce 2, Taylor Swift 3.
Yeah, it's debatable. I mean, that's all opinionated, but yeah, go for it.
I mean, if you just look at, if we just going purely based off numbers, if we talk about amongst us, like none of us going to go listen to Taylor Swift, but if we talk about just the general American population,
we're not her demographic.
Right. We're not a target demographic, but at the same time, the NFL understands the deal of like, yo, having Taylor Swift on the TV, like we having Taylor Swift is getting more impressions after NFL playoff games than the actual names of the teams and the players on the teams.
Yeah.
They are showing Taylor Swift. My man Pacheco scored a touchdown and they showed Taylor Swift celebrating. Now, if Travis Kelce get a touchdown and they show her, I get it. That's her man's.
And in all fairness, there may be a reason for that for Pacheco that we don't really want to get into. Like, with all due respect, you know, like, and this is not a joke, so please don't laugh. Neither one of y'all laugh. Y'all know Isaiah Pacheco's story. Who from his family are they going to show? Like, not even being funny. Like, what are they? You can't. You see what I'm saying, though? Like, I'm not joking. Like, he just has so many people pass. It's like.
How about
you just
show
the camera on him.
You show the sideline, maybe his teammates celebrating.
Yeah, that's right.
They got the owner's box. Maybe you show the owner or the general manager celebrating, you know?
That's fair.
I got one better. Why don't you just show him celebrating? Just show him. Just show him celebrating.
I get that.
So, like, yes, I am very much tired of seeing this woman on my television. Not because, like, I got any hate for her. It's just, like, we get it. She dating Travis Kelce. The Chiefs are a good team. But, like, why are we seeing her after every first down? Why are we seeing her after every touchdown? Why are we seeing her swag surfing? And USA Today is writing articles to talk about everything that you need to know about the viral dance, the swag surf.
I just need to interject real quick about the swag surf. People talk about the swag surf is officially dead. Baby, they've been doing it at PWIs for about 15 years now.
They have.
That thing has been dead. That is not a
swag surf died when I was at middle school.
That's what I'm saying. This is not something new. Listen. I'm telling you,
people can't even name the group that made swag surf no more.
Hello.
That's how dead it is.
Hello. I'm telling y'all.
I don't even know if I remember the group that made swag surfing.
What?
That's what I'm saying.
I'm trying to remember. Wasn't it the Youngsters or something?
Please. Yes, you're right, but please. What?
I'm telling you, people don't even remember the group that made swag surf.
The group that made it. The acronym was FLY. See, I'm glad the North said that. The acronym was FLY. Fast Life Youngsters. How did you forget that?
Come on,
what?
Bro. I don't. You need to erase that out your memory, man. I'm pretty sure you got like an account number or a driver's license number or something that you can replace Fast Life Youngsters with that bit of information.
No, I don't got like. My CTE is a little different from Chandler Jones's. Like, it's like random, random things kind of stick with me for forever. And something like I meet people like 12 times, and like some people I just can't remember their name. That's the type of CTE I got. So you know.
Speaking of, excuse me, we need to do a segment one day to where we just go to the deepest part of our mind and we just name our most random like favorite players that nobody else in the history remembers.
Well, that we can do that one day. We can have a dudes naming guys episode. We can definitely have that episode.
Because I think Musa Muhammad is at the top of my obscure receivers list.
Musa Muhammad cannot be at the top of an obscure receivers list because Musa Muhammad is not an obscure receiver. He's one of the Panthers' all-time leaders.
He's an obscure receiver to us.
To who?
He's an obscure receiver to a casual fan.
Johnny Morton is an obscure receiver to a casual fan. You understand? Ricky Prohl, his teammate, obscure receiver to the average fan. Moose? Josh, go on somewhere, man. Go on somewhere.
I'd probably be better with the hoops because I for sure could give you a Stromile Swift.
I got one. I got one. I'm talking about Corey Brewer 50-point game. Like,
hey, don't make me get my Bialisa bag now. Don't make me get in that bag, boy. Bring out some real
though, ain't he?
Bialisa still in the league?
No, he's not in the league. No,
you sure?
No.
Oh, hey.
What team? Tell me what team.
Man, I'm getting them confused with my man's on the Warriors, Saric.
Yeah. No.
Oh, yeah.
They got the same bag, bro.
They do. They are the same person.
The same player.
You can't convince me they're different people. Let me ask you, Chris, because I know you're gonna give us the most villainous answer of all. Are you tired of seeing Taylor Swift?
Am I tired of Taylor Swift, man? I went to a drinking game where every time we saw Taylor Swift, we drank. I almost died. I almost died. Am I tired of Taylor Swift? Yes. They show her outfit. They show her outfit now. They show her shoes now. They show her hugging Mahomes' wife. Now they besties. They got a story on them on YouTube on how they became good friends. No, y'all just went to the same game because y'all sleeping with two of the people on the team. That's how y'all friends. There's no story behind y'all friend. She didn't know you until she started messing with girls. Anyway, then you got the brother trying to jump in the video with no shirt on because he retired now, and then they still they ignore him and going straight to Taylor Swift. Every time something good happens to the Chiefs is because Taylor Swift did it. Patrick Mahomes don't matter for the Chiefs no more. They might as well trade him and just put Taylor Swift on the field, and then they win every game because I don't know what's going on.
I'm going to tell you. Actually, not maybe. I know I'm in the minority here. I really don't care. Like, it's a little like, it's a little excessive, but it's not like a big deal to me because, like, think about the post-touchdown shots anyway. Like, it is the owner sometimes. You rather see Jerry Jones, brother? Come on.
But, like,
you'd rather see Robert Kraft?
If they showed her, that's one thing, but it's like 50% of the game's commentary is about Taylor Swift. They might show Jerry Jones and say, "Oh, there's Jerry Jones, they call the Cowboys," and then that's it.
They calling Jason Kelce her brother-in-law. Like, that's how deep this is getting. Like, this is how deep it's getting.
I mean, if they get married, that will in fact be her brother.
It will be the top 5 center in the history of the National Football League.
Oh, wait. You mean like they're calling Jason Kelce that, like, as his title, like, oh,
yes!
My bad.
Yes!
My fault, man. My fault.
Gibbs, they're calling him her brother-in-law, forgetting that's Jason Kelce.
I'm getting jumped on this show. Something crazy today. This is
Let me tell you another thing.
Y'all right. I get that.
Let me tell you another thing. If she get a halftime performance for the Super Bowl one of these years, that would be the first year I don't watch the Super Bowl.
Can I say something about the Super Bowl halftime performance like a thing?
Sure, go for it.
Like, I understand that like like I said, the NFL is just a big commercial, which is why they got Taylor Swift on a thing, which is why, you know, the people that perform at halftime. For example, last year they had Rihanna perform at halftime. Why is that synonymous with football?
I mean, okay.
I never want to see somebody get their head cracked open and then I hear it shine bright like a diamond after, bro. Like, that just never made sense to me.
Let's stop playing.
It's the biggest show on TV, bro.
Football. Yeah, it's just, at this point, it's pure spectacle. Like, that has nothing to do. The Super Bowl is the oddest game of football ever played because they have 2 times the normal wait time for players to get back out on the field. And 9 times out of 10, this is from players who played in the Super Bowl, not Ken's personal feelings about it. Players who played in the Super Bowl said the atmosphere is kind of lame now. Like, all the recent
Super Bowls, not playing at the crib.
You're not playing at the crib. They priced out all of the real fans. Like, the only people that can afford to go are celebrities and influencers who are being sent there by company X, Y, and Z. True. And they don't give a damn. You think the average person in Baltimore can afford that ticket? I know the average person in Detroit can't. I've been to San Francisco and seen it with my own 2 eyes. Average? No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. They can't afford to go to no Super Bowl. Kansas City, never been. Not going to speak on it. But the other 3 cities, I have a depth of experience with. And, and it's that way every year. So I don't understand the spectacle of it, but I also understand it from a standpoint of the NFL is about the money, it's about the eyes, and what gets the most money in the eyes, right? Like there are legitimately, y'all see the tweets every year, oh my God, this football game is getting in the way of the Beyonce concert. Oh my God, this game is interfering with me seeing Riri. Like, we see it every year. You know what I mean? So it's part of the deal now. It's part of the deal. But again, I'm even with them calling Jason Kelsey her brother-in-law, like, yeah, people going really far, getting a little annoying with it. It's not that big of a deal to me. It's really not. And plus, after a touchdown is generally when you go to the bathroom and do all the other stuff that you need to do during the game anyway. I don't care if you show.
So let's just say in a scenario, which we'll talk about a little later on. The Chiefs make it to the Super Bowl.
Right.
Are you good with the narrative behind the biggest football game of the year for the National Football League championship Vince Lombardi trophy? The narrative for that game to be about Taylor Swift being in attendance.
Yeah. Because you have to understand, like, y'all don't understand. I'm a diehard.
Getting soft at his old age.
No. This the thing. It's not me that went soft. It's the NFL that's going soft. They're now considering changing the rules for touchbacks.
What you mean?
NFL, so for when teams fumble out of the end zone, it'll no longer be a turnover and a touchback. They're considering changing that rule.
So what?
I don't know.
It's not a rule anymore. It's just not a rule.
The offense will keep possession. However it works out, the offense will keep possession. Do you know how many
they fumbled in enemy territory?
Hello?
It just makes sense. You can have a child write the rules to that, and it just makes sense.
To me, the reaching out for the goal line should be a great risk-reward thing.
Hey.
And you know who I don't understand not protesting these rules? Running backs. Running backs are like allowing all these rules to pass that are making them more and more useless. Because you know who's not going to fumble in an area where it's liable to go out the back of the end zone or out the side of the end zone?
Literally any other position.
A receiver will every time. A quarterback who's scrambling, getting to the outside will every time. A running back? Not so much. But yet, they're not smart enough to stop it. But, bro, football has made a million concessions over my lifetime that I've had to live with. Like, y'all don't understand. I grew up watching ESPN Classic. When I was like 3 and 4 years old, my mother will tell you stories of, like, she would wake up and come downstairs and I'd just be sitting in front of a TV and, like, watching. I grew up now watching a violent, brutal, nasty game. All of a sudden, we got guys passing for 5,000 yards like it's nothing. Bro, the game changed on me. I didn't change on the game. I've been the same me. Yeah, I remember when you could hit a quarterback anywhere from the neck down through the rest of his body. Now you've got like the lower part of the collarbone down through the lower part of the thigh, and you can't land your body weight on them.
All the hits is just a part of our childhood. You remember how excited we was when the hit stick came on Madden?
I kid you not. I kid you not. You know, Ryan Clark is one of the best personalities in sports media today. People don't understand how violent he played the game. He would not have had a place in today's NFL.
His place Ray Lewis, been, Troy Polamalu, Mel Blount,
Ronnie Lott. Get out of here.
Rodney Harrison.
I'm trying to think of the safety. I can't think of it right now.
Junior
Ryan Dawkins.
The Legion of the Boom got cooked. Cam Chancellor would have been cooked.
But that's so. Don't tell me that I got soft because I don't care about Taylor Swift. The game has been commercialized to be a 50-point game, track meet on grass type deal. So if they want to take it a little further, who cares at this point? Like, whatever, have fun with it. But there's only one man who can stop them now. There's only one man who can stop that Super Bowl from happening. Save us, Lamar Jackson. Save us. If you can hear this, Lamar and the Ravens dominated the Houston Texans. It was a tight one at halftime. It was a tight one, 10-10. And mind you, none of those points were scored by Houston's offense. None of those touchdowns, the only touchdown scored by Houston wasn't scored by the offense. But in the end, Lamar and company bucked up and whooped the wheels off those boys. Any thoughts from that game?
Wasn't surprised by the game at all. One, you're looking at one of momentum-wise, you're looking at probably the most impressive defense in the NFL playoffs in Baltimore. Yeah. And you're going against C.J. Stroud, who, they had an amazing season. But at the same time, you're looking at a team that has some veteran pieces in there, but the leader of that charge is a quarterback that's a rookie. You're not going to get a quarterback that's a rookie with that much on his shoulders, and he's going to go out there and do what he did against Cleveland. Yeah, and a rookie head coach, which, the Texans already, they exceeded expectations.
1,000%.
So that game doesn't surprise me at all. We'll get to Ravens versus Chiefs later. But I just think Baltimore is on a mission. That defense did what they were supposed to do. And when when you have a defense like Houston, it's kind of hard for them to carry the load and try to take over for that offense that didn't carry their end of the bargain. They don't have a dominant of enough defense to try to tip the scales back into Houston's favor. That game turned out how it was supposed to.
For sure. Chris, any thoughts on seeing the Ravens that you despise take out the Houston Texans?
I'm happy for the Ravens, but I'm more happy that the Texans got a bright future, man. I never thought they was going to recover after the massage table incident happened to them. So, I'll be honest with you. Because, think about it. If you think about football in Texas, what you thinking of?
The Cowboys let you down every year.
Right.
The Longhorns let you down every year.
You're not thinking
Texas
about
probably.
Texans.
Yeah, I was just about to say Texas probably about third or fourth.
Yeah, you're not thinking about Texans. So,
think about the Longhorns before you think of the Texans.
Yeah. Right. So, to be honest with you, I'm happy that the Texans, they found the franchise quarterback, hopefully. They got some rookie pieces around them. I'm happy for Lamar, too, to be honest with you. AFC North hasn't really been a factor in the Super Bowl contention in a while, so it's good to see our because, a lot of people were saying AFC North the worst division in the AFC. A lot of people were saying that.
Those people are very, very interesting types. They're very interesting types. But I'm going to say this. Lamar Jackson, brother, you're an MVP. Not only are you an MVP, you're a two-time MVP. Get ready to get into the Hall. He could never play another game, and he's going to the Hall of Fame. Oh, what a time. So excited for that, man. But did I not tell everybody exactly how this thing was going to go? We all know what's happening here. And I want one thing from the Ravens to stick with everybody, especially talent evaluators from now on. Stop looking at these boys 40 times. Please, stop. People looked at Kyle Hamilton and said, yeah, he's 6'4". Yeah, he can play pretty much every position on the perimeter of your defense. He can play outside linebacker. He can play safety. You could even line him up at nickel. He's a little too slow. Did you watch the damn tape?
Can you explain something for me? Both of y'all might be able to answer this. It might pertain a little bit more to football than it does to basketball, but they kind of run their combines the same way. Mm-hmm. If I got a obviously gifted cornerback that I watch, shut down receivers in college that kills these drills, why is his stock going down? Because he only can do 3 reps on a bench press. What does that have to do with his ability to play defense?
Well, the metrics have changed now. They look at for example, with Kyle Hamilton in the 40, there's a line of delineation for defensive backs that there have only been, I want to say 1 or 2 defensive backs that have run slower than 4.6 that have made a Pro Bowl or All-Pro team. That's okay. There have only been 1 or 2 in the past 15 to 20 years. So that's what NFL teams look at. They used to think a lot about bench press, but now they don't care as much about that. For DBs at least, but they still are very much so oh, how fast did you run? How high did you jump? When it's bro, just turn on the tape. Just watch him play football. I swear to God, football is not played in shorts and T-shirt. If it was, the results would be a lot different, but it's not, okay? These boys got to put on these men got to put on pads, and they got to do what they got to do on the brightest stage when they get real physical and real violent. That's the reality.
Yeah.
So, that's just my thought there. But anyway, moving on to the NFC. The script writers have finally written Jordan Love and the boys on out. Looks like the 49ers are going to advance with a very meh performance from Purdy. Before that last drive, where I will give it to him, he threw a few dots. Any thoughts on the 49ers being the first team to advance to the NFC Championship?
No, that's what was supposed to happen. The Packers was another team that overexceeded, just like the Texans. Unfortunately, I think they have a bright future ahead of them because, we all hate the 49ers. I mean, we all hate the Packers. The 49ers are supposed to be there. I know there's still questions on Brock Purdy. There's still questions that I'm waiting to answer. I mean, you can't really take away from somebody, regardless of the talent around them, that they made 2 NFC championship games in a row in their first 2 seasons. That's still impressive, regardless of the pieces you have around you. But if you look at the 49ers from top to bottom, they have probably the best defensive line in the NFL. They have probably the best, a top 3 linebacking core in the NFL. They have probably a top 5 secondary in the NFL. They have probably top 3 receiving core in the NFL, and they have Christian McCaffrey, and they probably have a top 3 offensive line in the NFL. So when you have all of those pieces, NFC championship appearance is to be expected. It's to be expected. So, until they go to the Super Bowl and win, which we haven't seen out of San Francisco, out of this core, I don't really think there's anything to pat them on the back for.
Fair enough. Chris, what you thinking?
And they were supposed to do this, man. They were supposed to go out and destroy Green Bay, let's be honest. Green Bay was on a magical ride. Jordan Love was playing out of his mind, playing better than he should have. They came out rusty in the first half, but they score looked a lot like the Ravens and the Texans score, let's be honest here. This team has been together for 4 years now, currently constructed before Purdy. They had Jimmy G, then Purdy came to the scene, but they're getting old. When I say they're getting old, you got guys on that team that are on their 10th year. 10th season.
Trent Williams beyond 10. If I'm
exactly.
correct, I believe.
Yeah.
Beyond 10.
That's what I'm saying. So if they don't do it this year, I don't know what year they're gonna do it, because you don't get younger. That's been proven. You don't get younger.
Yeah. I mean, Brock Purdy just did the most, and I'm not. Don't jump through the screen, because I know you're gonna get mad when I say this. Y'all remember when Kobe went like 3 of 20 something in that, and it was some game where he went like 3 of 20 something, and like all 3 of the shots were hitting the clutch. Like all 3 of those shots just came when he absolutely needed them. Brock Purdy pulled out one of those. It was god awful.
It was that game against Toronto, right?
I believe so. But I can't remember who it was against. But I know like he hit the game winner, and like a few to get him in position to hit the game winner, and it was like
Toronto.
Everybody's like, "Oh, that's just Kobe," and I'm like, "Is it? Is that a good thing?"
I mean, it was. Kobe's my favorite player of all time, but I'm a person, I never missed a Lakers game. Kobe had a lot of games where he was selling for like 3.5 quarters, and if the game was close enough, he sealed it.
And that's what Brock Purdy did here. But I don't believe in that young man at all. I don't believe in that young man at all. Never believed in him. They just were supremely talented to the Packers, who got hot at the right time. And all of a sudden, because they beat the Cowboys, it's the Cowboys effect. See, the Cowboys have a transference of energy. People put too many hopes and dreams in them. All those adults coming together to wish something into happening, it's like Santa Claus. It's like too many people believing in Santa Claus, right? And imagine if you saw somebody on air pretend to kill Santa. What happens then? Right? Oh no, the person who killed Santa is the new Santa. Ha ha. That's what happens. Like we all knew that the clock was going to strike midnight, and the Packers were going to turn back into a giant block of Gouda cheese at some point in time, and they just did in this moment. But the Kings of the North, we the North, in the building, the Lions beat the Bucks on an interception to put the game away by Derek Barnes. Fellas, what did you think about the Lions win over the Tampa Bay Buccaneers?
So the that win against Tampa Bay didn't tell me too much about the Lions. That game was pretty much a Lions game, explosive run game, conservative passing game, but made the smart plays. The offense is what we knew it to be, except for this one thing. We didn't see any point in the season. The Lions had a lot of games where they were either front runners or they had a lot of games where they were getting beat up on and turned it on in the second half. We didn't necessarily see a game from the Lions this year to where they got into a shootout and they had to do something to separate themselves. I do think that I forget the guy's name, but doing a blade dance is what was the separation in that game. And I'm proud of that Lions team because it might seem like I'm nitpicking, but if you have a team that are able to take a little piece of something and turn it into motivation to go up there and do 2 straight drives where you get 2 straight touchdowns and you get a stop, allow a touchdown, and get another stop, I think that's a lot of maturity for a team where most of that core outside of Jared Goff has never been this deep in the playoffs.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And also, fun fact about that whole blade dance thing. Up till that point, I want to say the Tampa Bay Buccaneers had tied the game up at 17 all with that touchdown. The Detroit Lions then went on to score 2 touchdowns straight.
Yep.
Stop
2-1
playing.
answer. 2 drives in a row.
Stop playing with that man's name. Stop playing with Mr. Icewood. God rest his soul. Yeah, I mean, we would all like to boss up and get this money, much like Blade.
Oh,
that's neither here nor there. Chris, what are your thoughts on the Lions winning this game?
I think it was expected of the Lions to win it more than it was the Bucks to lose it. The Lions actually played decent defense. Their secondary was still questionable in that game, but they played decent defense, right? And if Baker Mayfield beats you in 2024, I'm sorry, but you got a lot more problems than we think you have, okay? So that being said, Eagles, y'all need to find help, seek help, do a lot of things differently. But the Lions, it was their game to win. They won it. I'm proud of them. Shout out to Detroit. I think it's a good thing for the city. And I also think it's a good thing for the Lions' morale, right? They're doing something that's never been done in Detroit, or at least in a long time, right? If they go to the Super Bowl, I think that it would be really good for them. And also, it'll really speak volumes to how Dan Campbell came in and changed the culture, right?
Yeah. All I got to say is the city up, man. The city up. I believe the Pistons and the Red Wings also won that weekend. Am I incorrect there?
Yeah, and the Red Wings beats the Tampa Bay Lightning. So
the best roster that money could buy. By the way, for those of you who don't know, the Tampa Bay Lightning are always in trouble for violating salary cap rules because they paid too much for their players. But that's neither here nor there. Lo and behold, great weekend for the city. Josh, can you please tell us the records for our predictions in the divisional round?
So, Gibbs, you are 4-0. I am 4-0. Chris, you are 3-1, my good sir.
Who did I have?
You picked Houston over Baltimore.
Oh, I was a hater. I couldn't pick the Ravens.
Foolishness.
How could you not root for Lamar? Lamar should outweigh your hate for the Ravens.
Hold on. Exactly. Did I not tell y'all after we got off show I just can't pick a Ravens team live on the air?
You did.
Okay, come on now.
But you know what? Get that hate out your heart, big fella. In the words of what is that young man named? Ha Ha Davis. What's on your heart, young fella? You got to get that hate up out your heart, man. You acting unusual
I can read between the lines, if you know what I mean, Gibbs. I can read between the lines.
Well, speaking of reading between the lines, I need y'all to read between the lines of what's going to happen in this championship round weekend. Who's going to the Super Bowl, fellas?
So I've been thinking about this all week, and I'm still not ready to come to a conclusion. Is Deebo Samuel playing for San Francisco? Or is he still questionable?
He's going to attempt to play the first couple drives.
If Deebo is healthy, San Francisco was going to win that game.
Mm-hmm.
Just because when you look at the Lions secondary, that's been our biggest question all season.
Get Cam Sutton off my team, man.
Cam Sutton is our biggest corner, and he's
Cam
5'10".
Sutton.
Get
Cam
him off
Sutton
the
is
team.
the guy from the Chiefs. Who we used to clown on the Chiefs?
Sorensen. Daniel Sorensen.
Cam Sutton's sources.
Eli Apple, bro.
Eli Apple was good in his heyday, though. He was good.
Get that bum off the field. Get Cam Sutton away from
that's
my
our
program.
biggest issue. If Cam Sutton is our biggest corner, he's 5'10", 205.
And here's the thing, right? There's a player, and this is what I mean when I say these coaches be overthinking it. There's a player in the NCAA that plays in a Power 5 conference that has allowed 1 touchdown over the last 2 years, and he plays in a blitz-heavy scheme. NFL team said, well, he's too slow. I swear to God, Lions, I swear to God, if y'all mess this draft pick up, I swear to God. Like that, he's... I
have faith in the Lions front office because people last year said that the Lions drafted trash.
Yeah.
And our first 4 picks was Gibbs, Campbell.
Hey, Gibbs don't lose at Ford Field. We just don't do that. You know what I mean? We just don't know how to do it.
And Brian Branch. Those are our first 4 picks.
Rookie tight end receiving record, ladies and gentlemen. Shout out to Mr. Laporta. And Brian Branch, of course, has been a ball hawk all year. But,
so if Debo is healthy, I'm going with San Francisco just based off the fact that Cam Sutton can't check Debo. Debo going for 200 yards.
But if Debo ain't healthy?
If Debo is not healthy, I'm going with the Lions.
Okay.
I'm going with the Lions, and the final score is going to be 24-21.
Okay. Chris, who you got? Oh, wait. Guyton, who you got in the AFC?
This is another thing because, like, my heart wants Lions Ravens. But my brain is Niners Chiefs. But I'm going to go with the Ravens just because, one, we've seen the Chiefs be inconsistent all year, and they've been winning a lot of games purely based off their experience and the fact that Patrick Mahomes is the best quarterback in the NFL.
Yeah.
But it's a thing in sports. We've all seen it, especially in sports, especially in the big 3. We've seen it to where if a team is hot or a team has that momentum or that motivation, they can win. We've seen Eli Manning beat Tom Brady in 2 Super Bowls just because the team got hot at the right moment and the momentum was on their side. This Ravens team looks like a team that's hungry. I don't know if this is the only Super Bowl that Lamar Jackson will get. I don't know if this Baltimore team is going to be able to sustain this for another season, but this is a team that looks hungry. So I'm going with Baltimore.
Okay. All right. Chris, who you got?
So my first pick, I'm gonna pull this one from way down below. I'm going with the Lions, baby. I'm going with the Lions, right?
My Lord.
I'm going with the Lions.
Don't curse us, man.
That man done picked the Lions.
But here's why. When you got Detroit behind you, it's different from another cities behind
It's so
you, right?
different.
When you got Detroit behind you, got them believing in you, and it's gonna be like the Spirit Bomb when they killed Kid Boo. I'm not gonna hold you. When they killed Kid Boo, it's gonna like Detroit. One thing about them, they might not be able to go to San Fran and go to the game, but they gonna be in San Fran.
No, they gonna be there. They gonna be at the game.
In San Fran buffed up.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm sorry. And I feel bad for little old Purdy, but I'm going with the Lions.
Okay. All right.
And then for the AFC, I'm gonna have to pull a Gibbs on this one. The audience might hate me, but it's this thing called knocking on the door. It's this thing that's called knocking on the door.
Yeah.
I think this is the year the Ravens have knocked.
Yeah.
I don't think this is the year that they get through.
They're not kicking it down.
I think you gotta go knock on the door first, and then you gotta run it back, and then you get through. Cause
True.
I ain't going against Patrick Mahomes. I'm sorry. He didn't put fear of God in me. Like every time I want him to do something bad or do something terrible with the football, he don't do it. He go out there with a bum ankle and lay horizontal in the air and make passes. He was just made to play football.
So
They hit him with that perk 60, and he was acting unusual.
It's so many people that hated Tom Brady and the Patriots. And although that wasn't my team, when I first started watching football, they was those guys, and I'm a Michigan fan. So, like, I didn't dislike Tom Brady. I wasn't rooting for the Patriots, but Tom Brady was my guy. I now understand.
Choose your next words carefully.
I'm just saying I now understand how people feel when the Chiefs keep winning, because I'm tired of seeing the Chiefs. I am so tired. I do not want to see them win one more football game.
All right, you was real close. You was real close. Me and Chris was gonna have to find a third. We was finna be holding open auditions for this podcast. So. Can you master? Can you mix? Can you get us on Twitch real quick? Because we need help.
I think what was the Bucks coach name? I think he available.
Todd Bowles.
Yeah.
Lord have mercy. I'm gonna tell you. Oh no, Griffin.
No,
Adrian Griffin.
Adrian Griffin.
Adrian Griffin. Lord have mercy. I'm gonna tell you this much. When I look at these two games, I'm much like Josh, and then my mind is telling me one thing, but my heart is saying something else. But I'm gonna tell you this: I've been rolling with my mind all playoffs, and I ain't gonna stop now. I think that the Lions have had a phenomenal year. They had a phenomenal year. It hurts my heart to do this. It really does. I think the 49ers win this game, man. I think the 49ers win this game. My urge to be right is stronger than my loyalty to the city. I'm sorry. I hope the Lions win. It would make me – I would never be happier to be wrong than if the Lions were to win this game. I would never be happier. But I think the Lions take it. And in that Ravens and Chiefs game, my heart is telling me you can't go against Pat. Don't ever go against Pat. My mind is telling me your best player is a tight end that doesn't run that fast. He just understands the game. And they have a guy on defense that counteracts that. That Hamilton kid I was telling you about, he's one of the highest graded defenders in the entire league. He knows. He watches film. He knows leverage. He knows where he should be at all times. And he's a lot younger and hungrier than Kelsey. I think the Ravens pull it out. Even though everything in me is saying, don't bet against Mahomes. Don't you bet against Mahomes. Something in me is saying, sprinkle something on that money line, Baltimore way. Sprinkle something on that. Sprinkle a little. Sprinkle. Just a little something on that Baltimore money.
I'm going to get the fans the odds, right? So Kansas City right now is plus 3.5 underdogs, and they are plus 164 in the money line, which means they expect this game to be pretty close. A field goal should determine this game. The Ravens are minus 196, which means they are not superly heavily favored, but they are favored pretty nice, right? The Lions game. The Lions are severe underdogs. Plus 7 is their spread. And then odds are plus 265, which means they almost guaranteeing that the 49ers at least win this game. They just giving the Lions 7 points to make that be the difference at minimum. Yeah. So both games they have over under total at 44.5, and also the Lions at 50.5. So they think the Lions is going to be a shootout. They think the Baltimore and Chiefs game is going to be more of a defensive game like the Bills and the Chiefs game was.
You know, the funniest joke that I constantly see about Nick Bosa, we've all heard it, we've all seen it. But the thing about it that makes it so funny, if you go back to the year where he had 18.5 sacks and specifically look at his game splits, I'm not saying that they were right. I'm just saying they weren't necessarily wrong. That's what I'll say. Okay? You go back to 2022 and look up game by game who he sacked the most. I'm just saying. Okay? 3 sacks against Tua, 2 against Geno Smith in their first meeting. I'm just saying. Not saying, but I'm saying. Something to think about there. And he's playing Jared Goff in this one.
We should be good.
Might get a pass.
Also, is there an update on the health of Jonah Jackson? Because that's gonna be a big deal.
You know, I don't know, but
they got him listed as doubtful right now.
I remember when Ragnar went down. I said, "Boy, I don't know if I'd rather have him hurt or Jared Goff." Hold on, that brother is big time. You got to have.
Yeah, in my opinion, the Lions have the best offensive line in the league when fully healthy.
They not nothing to be trifled with. But speaking of nothing to be trifled with, and we're gonna get out of here after we touch on this. The Bucs at 30-13 have fired head coach Adrian Griffin and are bringing in Doc Rivers. Fellas, tell me, what are you thinking in terms of this firing and hiring? Good move by the Bucs, bad move by the Bucs.
Bad move. I don't think there is any question whether or not it's a bad move. I don't think any of us three are going to talk about whether or not it's a bad move. I don't think any person with a podcast, any person with a Twitter account, any person with a TikTok is going to say, hey, hiring Doc Rivers is a good move. Mm-hmm. This is a man that has had job after job, coaching illustrious roster after illustrious roster, and he is still holding on to the fact that he won a championship during the Bush administration.
He sounded like Drake when he said, I used to date SZA back in 2008. Brother, we don't care. Leave us alone, Doc, please.
So, the one thing I have to ask about Doc Rivers, because, I like to be as honest with the Facts Over Acts audience as possible. I've gone through some employment issues. In the year of 2023, I was laid off 2 separate times. Since I moved down to Georgia, I've had a hard time finding employment. So my only question to Doc Rivers is, can you please give a seminar on your interview skills or your resume, or how I should probably update my LinkedIn profile? Because there's no way that this man is keeping a job. A man with the most blown 3-1 leads in the history of basketball. A man that
He's just gonna send you the Gucci song "Finesse the Plug" via Apple Music.
This man had Grant Hill and T-Mac on the squad, couldn't get it done. This man had KG Paul Pierce Rondo for 5-6 seasons and only won 1 championship. This man had Chris Paul, Blake Griffin, DeAndre Jordan on the same squad and couldn't get it done. What is going on with? How does this man keep a job?
He had James Harden and the 76ers and Joel Embiid MVP year, and they were up 3-2 against the Celtics, and they still lost.
Here's my thing of why this is a bad move. How many teams have ever been right before the All-Star break as a 2 seed and felt the need to fire their coach?
It got to be something going on there.
David Blatt was the only other person.
David Blatt, that team wasn't a 2 seed. They wasn't that high. They was like a 5, wasn't they?
They was 30 and 14. It was 30 and 14 when they fired him.
Really?
They was 30 and 14.
But either way you cut it or slice it, there is no way to excuse this, because, this ain't the situation where I feel like it just doesn't feel like a great idea to me. I don't know what it is about this, but something about this move just feels like everything about it is off. What is actually going on behind the scenes that made y'all make this move? Because it just doesn't, the numbers, the math, it just doesn't add up here whatsoever. I'm very, very much so worried here. Chris, talk to me. What you think? Good firing, bad firing, good hiring, bad hiring?
I think that it wasn't any of the above. I think they just had to. I think when Dame comes out and says he doesn't really get the offensive scheme, him and Giannis are struggling sometimes to figure out who's going to do what. Chris Middleton suffered a lot with him being head coach. He hasn't looked like the right person. One thing I will say, I give Doc Rivers credit for, he makes third options look like all-stars every year. Tobias Harris has thrived because of Doc Rivers, right? And he's never been a 1 or a 2 option on a championship team, right? So I think Chris Middleton benefits from this deal. But here's the thing, right? When your star players have confusion and doubt in your coach, that's not someone I want to lead my team. So I think that played a big part into the decision. Also, here's the thing about Doc, right? Here's the thing about Doc. Doc is someone that can deal with high-profile personalities. Like, you got Dame, you got Giannis, you got, they in the city of Milwaukee, so, they probably, walk on water to the people in Milwaukee, right? But here's what Doc sucks at, right? Execution in the crunch time, right? And who also has shown that he's bad at that when the lights get bright sometimes, right? Giannis did it in 2021 with Bud. He overcame that, but Chris Paul is someone that also that folds under pressure, right? I don't think Doc is the guy to get you two players that struggle when they knocking at the door, right? Dame in Portland, when he's asked to be that guy, he steps up and he has a hell of a performance, but he just can't figure out how to get the job done. Is Doc Rivers the guy that helped Dame understand how to get the job done, right? Is Doc Rivers that guy? I would say, no, he's not that guy. The guy for me that they should have went after the hire, call me crazy. Y'all call me whatever. I know I gave him a lot of a bad thing, but what's the guy they just fired from the Wizards? Scott Brooks. I think they should have got Scott Brooks.
I'm actually not mad at that.
I was about to say, I'm less mad at that than I am Doc Rivers.
If you think about this team, right, it's constructed like that 2013 Oklahoma City Thunder team. In a lot of ways, other than the fact that they don't have Kendrick Perkins, they got Brook Lopez, but from top to bottom, from bench help support, I think Scott Brooks is a better XO guy to execute on this team offensively and defensively. So
yeah, I feel that. Well, folks, we know y'all tired of us talking about Taylor Swift and whether or not it was a good firing hirings and whether or not the city is in fact up. But come on back next week and the week after that. And the week after that. Peace and love, y'all.